Hello, everybody, and welcome. We are here for Manchester United versus Lyon, and Eric Ten Hag has actually come on. So let's hear what he has to say. Oh yeah, they're talking about Eric Van der Sar. So for anybody that doesn't know, Eric Van der Sar ended up in hospital in intensive care, but they've released a photograph and he's absolutely fine. He'll be going home in a week. But the starting 11 for today's match is scrolling across the screen. So the young goalkeeper Kovar gets a chance. Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Martinez, Fernandez, Hannibal, Mount, Minamino, Ahmad, Sancho, Anthony. It looks like Sancho is actually going to be playing up front, guys, which is unusual. But we have the game here. It's available free on the Manchester United app. I know there'll be a lot of fans out there that will be giving out to me for actually mentioning the app because, the fans out there want us to boycott um, the Glazers in any way possible. But all I'm just going to say is this, as I've said from the beginning, they're not going to leave the club until they get 6 or 7 billion, whatever they want. And none of the offers that are on the table have come close to what the Glazers want. So until the Glazers get what they want, they're not going anywhere. I'm just sick and tired of all the takeover talk now, and I don't really give a crap. I'm actually looking forward to the season. I have to say, even with the players that we've brought in, I'm excited to see what Ten Hag will do with this team. Um, but it's going to be very interesting. Obviously, he'll want the players that they're bringing into the club, hopefully for the tour of America. But this game is in Scotland, in Edinburgh. And as I said, we kick off in less than 27 minutes from now. And Ten Hag, obviously, talking there, the team, lovely weather in Scotland. Wasn't expecting that. Got to be honest, Scotland's a bit like Dublin, Ireland, I should say. Always raining. Also, apparently, what will be happening is he'll be changing the 11 that's on screen right now, scrolling. Apparently, there'll be a different 11 coming out in the second half. They didn't actually show the substitutions on screen because apparently there will be a second 11 coming on. So we'll just have to, when it scrolls across the screen, hopefully we can tell you who is on the pitch if you're not watching. But obviously, Ten Hag is talking about pre-season and how important it is. So he's basically saying, for this season, he wants the same attitude. Basically, try win every game, and hopefully to be there um, come the end of the season. Um, I liked how we played in the first game against Leeds. I got to be honest, Leeds did get back into it a little bit, but then the young players stepped up and did the job that they needed to do. So there he is. He's off now. So he will obviously, you know, go inside now. And we've got some Ben Ison, uh, Ibsen going around talking to the fans. So yeah, there's a people wearing the new jersey. So yeah, oh yeah, I was going to share. in here. I wonder what the score will be. Right, so it's the first time playing in Edinburgh, apparently. So they're just interviewing fans and stuff like that. But some transfer news actually. Johnny Evans has signed a short-term contract at Manchester United, so he could take part in the tour. Now, apparently, he'll be coming on in the second half. Also, Alex Telles is going to Cristiano Ronaldo's team in Saudi Arabia. The fee is 4 million, and then there's add-ons, but a lot of fans have been criticising the fee because a lot of fans expected between 10 to 15 million for Alex Telles, and I would have to actually agree. I don't know what we're actually doing, but that is not a great price. But look, we need to shift players, and that's the main goal here. We should look. It's always the way. Manchester United have always had difficulty getting a decent price for their players, and we get ripped off in the transfer market as well. Now, Atalanta seem to be playing hardball with Highland. And I'm just going to say this, right? The kid has had one full season. And yes, he looks a bit of a package. He looks like a Van Nistelrooy type of striker to me, right? But he looks it, right? And looks can be deceiving, right? I just think for what Atalanta are looking for him, I don't think it's worth the money. I really don't. I don't think the kid is worth that money. I think it'd be too much pressure to put on that kid as well. But apparently Ten Hag wants him. I just don't know personally if this guy is going to be as great as people think. They see clips of these players and they automatically think that they're world class and stuff. I haven't watched Atalanta, so I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, I know about this kid. I've seen the clips, but, you can't judge anybody off clips. I mean, anybody can look good in little snippets. You know what I mean? I just think it's too much pressure to put on a young kid. But look, if he comes in and hits the ground running and starts banging in goals, I think we'll be fine. But that price tag for me is just a bit of a no-no. It's too much money for a kid. I mean, for the price that they're looking, and I don't want Harry Kane, by the way. Right? Don't want Harry Kane anywhere near United. I don't know what United fans' fascination is with Harry Kane because he's in his 30s now. Right? He'd need to be replaced within 2 or 3 seasons, but you're going to pay 100 million for him now. I wouldn't pay it with a year left on his contract or something. No, man. Right? If you're going to spend 100 million, you go out and you buy a young, hungry striker like Ramos or someone like that. Or you pay the 100 million. Well, I know Osimhen has been valued out of the market really with 150 million price tag. But I'm sure we could look around Europe and find a striker that we could spend that money on, and one that actually has a bit of a CV behind them. But look, if this is as I said, if this is a striker that Ten Hag wants, of course they're gonna back the manager. Too much pressure on the kid. And as I said, Sancho seems to be playing up front today. Um, is this another Ten Hag master stroke to see if Sancho, because he hasn't done it down the wings, let's be honest, he's absolutely awful. Listen, I remember when we were in for him, and I remember fans again because they saw clips of him in the Bundesliga, right? And that's all it was. It was clips in the Bundesliga, right? Nobody was watching the Bundesliga week in, week out. No Man United fan was. I don't care what they say, they weren't watching the Bundesliga week in, week out. They all judged Sancho on all the little clips that they saw on YouTube, and the fans put together. Oh, look at this package. Look how he can take her out. Yeah, look at those clips again, right? And look at the amount of time that Sancho had on the ball to do all the things that he was able to do, right? Premier League, you don't get that time on the ball, right? So I'm sorry, Sancho for me is a dud. We've wasted that money on Sancho. And the fact that the manager is playing him out of position and has tried him in other positions, I think even a manager knows, right? But I think he'll give him one. I think he will give him one more season to prove himself. But I would sell him now. If someone comes in for an offer for Sancho, I would take it. We need money, right? We need money to bring in players that are going to actually make a difference, right? With that money, that fee for Sancho, we could bring in a decent midfielder or a decent centre back, right? Or we could bring in another striker to back up this kid that Ten Hag has faith in. We've got oh, there goes one of me AirPods. See these things, man, right? It's my first time kind of using these horrible looking things. Anyway, we've got Rompon in the chat with a wavy and a couple of emojis there. Nice to have you in the chat. But what's your opinion on Jadon Sancho? Would you keep him for another season? Would you sell him on, cash in now while we can actually still get a decent price for him? Because remember, folks, this is another problem with Manchester United. When we've had opportunities to sell players, right? Other teams have come in because they haven't done so well at Manchester United. Teams have come in for their players, but we always say no. And then when it doesn't work out, then we try to sell them on, but we can't sell them. We should have sold them to the team that wanted them in the first place. And this is what I fear is going to happen with Jadon Sancho. If he has another dud of the season, right, who's realistically then going to buy him next season? He could go back to Dortmund, but Dortmund are not going to pay us the fee. So they try to get him on the cheap. Again, they try to get him on the cheap, like. So they're not going to pay the fee that we want, right? He's not going to go to Chelsea or a team like that. I don't even see him going to Spurs, as some Man United fans suggest that he'd be a perfect fit for Pochettino. I don't think so. I don't think so because Jadon Sancho was bought because we thought he was going to attack, take around players, whip the ball into the box, right? But with all of our wingers, and we seen it last season, even with Anthony, they'll pick the ball up, they'll run with it, right? They'll get to a certain point, they'll play the ball back then to either Varane or Martinez or whoever's in midfield, right? And play the ball back. They never take on their man, right? Sancho doesn't do it. Anthony, God love him, tries. He just doesn't. I don't think Anthony has the pace, but Anthony gives you a lot more than Sancho. Anthony will run his feet like he'll run into the ground, man. I love Anthony, right? No matter what people say, I think Anthony will improve, right? You look at the players that Ten Hag has already improved. Luke Shaw, Wan-Bissaka was out the door. Rashford was out the door. Right? A lot of these players, a lot of United fans wanted out the door. Right? Now, he's been able to improve most of the players in that squad. The only one that he doesn't seem to be able to improve is Sancho. And remember, Sancho and Harry Maguire, right? Even Victor Lindelof has improved. And I hope Victor Lindelof actually stays as a squad player, to be quite honest with you. Now, I don't like the idea of us bringing in Johnny Evans for 6 months. Look at United should never have got rid of Johnny Evans when we did all those years ago, but we got rid of him, right? I see some fans, saying, "Oh, it's great that he's back." In some ways, I kind of agree, which is it is nice to see an Irishman, because I'm Irish as well, back in the squad, right? But the thing about it is, this is not about we can't be sentimental about this, right? Manchester United are trying to catch Manchester City, so City don't do another treble, because that would be our worst nightmare, right? We had our worst nightmare as United fans come true last season. I never thought I'd see the day. I'm being honest. I never thought I'd see the day that another team would do a treble, especially those idiots, right? So that's the target. Now, people say, well, Manchester City are losing players and all of that. Yeah, they are. But Pep is no idiot, right? He will have certain players that he wants to bring in. And it's like with Manchester City, you always notice that they bring in new players and it's like a well-oiled machine, right? Because these new players integrate so well. But it takes some a little bit longer, like Jack Grealish and stuff like that. But you look at them, right? They always start off a bit dodgy, City do. I've noticed that. For the last few seasons, they always have a bit of a bogey start. But once they hit their stride, that's it. It's game over for everybody else once they hit their stride. And the only team that can realistically stop them, right? Because Arsenal fans are banging on, with the amount of money that they've spent, they need to be winning the Premier League next year. But this season. But they're not going to win the Premier League. Right? It's going to be Manchester City's to lose. So who realistically can stop Manchester City? Well, us. We're the only team that can. Right? But while this ownership issue is still hanging over our heads, Ten Hag will have to make do. And listen, I think we've done some decent business. I wasn't sure about Mason Mount, but after seeing him for the first half, and it was only the first half though, so I'm not going to start, blowing smoke up Mason Mount's backside, because to be quite honest with you, it was only one half of football. But I liked what I saw. He has a lot of energy, and that's what Ten Hag likes to bring into his teams, a lot of energy. And now we've signed Onana, so we already know that United's style is going to completely change. Sure, the young goalkeeper Kovar, who's starting today, when he came on, he was playing the ball out from the back. He was very comfortable with playing the ball out from the back, and this is a young kid. I mean, we're in for another goalkeeper. Zion Suzuki, right? A Japanese goalkeeper who I've seen clips of as well, who seems to be like Kovar, the keeper that we actually have now, who's very good with the ball in their feet and picking players out in midfield and stuff like that. Maybe Ten Hag wants to bring in 3 goalkeepers. That's fine. Have 3 goalkeepers, because after seeing Kovar, I'm being honest, maybe Ten Hag's thinking is maybe he needs a season. I mean, probably needs a loan, maybe. But I don't know. I think you could put him in a few cup games, when you're playing against teams that United are expected to beat. So I think a goalkeeper might break through. Amaran is another player as well who isn't playing right now, but might come on in the second half. Is a player to look out for. Um, he could be another one that'll break through, and Mino might break through as well. Um, so there's a couple of lads that could break through. Good news though, Marcus Rashford has signed his long-awaited um, contract, so he stays with Manchester United until 2028. According to the club and Rashford, it was never in doubt, and that an agreement had been made months ago. A verbal agreement had been made months ago, and that it was already settled. And he did a little video. He calls Manchester United his home, and it is. And no matter what people say about Marcus Rashford, at the end of the day, he is a homegrown player. I think he had a terrific season. The season just gone, but he needs now. He needs now to justify this contract now. He's got it now. He's here till 2028. Now, this is it now. This is your prime now. And I think we're starting to see the start of Rashford's prime. And he needs to now kick on this season. And if he does and continues his form and continues what he's been doing, well, I tell you something, he's going to bang in a lot more goals. And then think about it. We actually bring in a striker that can actually score goals as well. I mean, our goal tally will go up, right? And hopefully the defence stays rock solid and we don't get any injuries there. We bring in we've already brought in Mason Mount. We bring in another midfielder now. So slowly but surely, folks, we're getting there. This process was always with Ten Hag, is a process. But you can clearly see that he definitely has a plan to make sure that we improve on last season. And, while I do think City are going to be up there again, I think, I'm going to be honest with you, I think it's going to be much closer this season. Newcastle have improved. Liverpool will improve. Chelsea will improve. But can Chelsea get from where they were last season into the top four? Tottenham will improve under. We'll see if Tottenham improve. We'll scratch that, right? But look at teams on the fringes like the Brightons. I think West Ham will come back stronger. It's going to be a lot tighter, man. It's going to be a lot tighter. I think there's going to be games won by the odd goal. There's going to be a lot of shock results, I reckon. But I'm excited for this season. I really am. Even with the two players that we've brought in, I'm like, I just can't wait for the season to start. It's been a long time as a Manchester United fan that 2 seasons in a row I've been excited to watch Manchester United play. And I do believe that we'll do something next season again. I really do. Because I think the manager just hasn't put belief in the players. He's put belief in us fans that we can actually do something. We should have won the Europa League, right? That result against Sevilla just is freaks. Sevilla are just freaks. The FA Cup, look, we got to the final. We got back into the game, but ultimately, the quality of City showed in the end. And I think we suffered as well because, for those last few weeks, if you remember, we were a bit dodgy. I think we were tired. Injuries have taken their toll. The lads fought hard, right? I think a lot of fans forget. If you look at our squad depth, right, and you look at our bench on the FA Cup final, right, we just didn't have it. Right, we didn't have that squad depth. So, to get to the FA Cup final against City and get back into it the way we did, and to be quite honest, once we got back into it, I thought, you know, we might actually win this. But if it had been 2 years ago and we got to an FA Cup final, we'd all be just hoping that the scoreline would be 1-2, 3-0 to whoever we were playing. So we just had the bagpipes. The flags are coming out. And it looks like the stadium, yet again, because Manchester United, the stadium is filling up quite nicely. I'm not going to say it's full. There are a few seats there. There they all are with their new United jerseys on. Isn't it funny? All of this talk about boycotting the jersey, and the jersey literally sold out. See, boycotting the jersey is not going to work, folks. Yeah, it's gone too far for boycotting jerseys. What you need to do is you need to embarrass these Glazers now. And how you do that is the start of the season is, have mass walkouts look, I think the Glazers are going to be here until at the end of the transfer window. And I think then they'll announce the sale of the club. I think they're doing this. Listen, when I did my first couple of streams on this channel, I actually spoke about that. And my theory is that the Glazers are going to sell, but they're going to wait until the transfer window is closed and then announce the sale as another FU to the fans, because we've wanted them gone for the last, ever since they took over the club, right? Now, if anybody thinks that's stupid, right, let me just point out that this is the Glazer family, right? They're that petty. So I would not put it past them doing something like that. And it's absolutely disgusting. This takeover should have been done 6 months ago. This was not a 6-7 month process, right? The reason why it's dragged on is because the reality is, and Manchester United fans don't want to hear this, is Sheikh Jassim or Sir James Bid does not give what the Glazers want, right? They want between 6 and 7 billion. And until they get their 6 or 7 billion, yeah, they're not going anywhere. So there's someone wearing the new away jersey, even though the new away jersey is not out yet. So that's a knockoff. And the channel just showed a knockoff jersey. I'm not one for buying knockoff jerseys. Look at, it's actually, for me, I have an excuse because, my birthday comes around the time the home jersey comes out. So I get it as a present. Now, people say that's a bit of a cop-out, right, and stuff like that. But it's not. It's a present. What am I supposed to say to the person that's getting me the present? Oh, don't buy me the Manchester United jersey because I don't like the way me owners are running the club. There's Mason Mount. It's nice to see Anthony. It'll be interesting now to see. So hopefully you won't be able to hear it because you can just hear me talking. Right, we got the Flames. Stadium is filling up. We've got 3 people. It says 3, 4. It keeps rotating between 3 and 4 people watching. If you are watching, come into the comments there. Let us know what you think the score line will be. There is the team news. As I said, we do not have the substitutes because they didn't show the substitutes, because apparently a whole second 11, brand new 11, will be coming on. So here is the starting 11, as we say. If the subs doing right. So here's the substitutes: Fred, Evans, Bishop, Williams, Van der Beek, Gore, Fish, Hugel, Gerardo, who was actually great, Emeran, and it just scrolled before the last name popped up. Anyway, Lacazette is in for Lyon, Sarr on the wing, Jahino, Tolisso, Sarr. They've got a decent team, actually. They've brought a decent team. Is that, there's a Mata in the substitute? Mata, that's not one, no, that's, sure he's playing right back, that's not. Oh no, Mata has retired from football now, hasn't he? Right, so Varane is the captain, folks. Varane, that jersey, I swear. It does, it looks really good. Right, where's the ref from? Right, so Martinez's first start since the injury, folks. Remember that. So it looks like it's very warm because some of the United players are actually getting a bit of fluids into them before they start. The pitch, I have to say, the pitch looks rather patchy. See, they play rugby and all in Murrayfield. And then, right, so we're off. So Sancho is up front. Kovar out of his box already. Martinez back to the goalkeeper. There, look, see the difference, man, when you have a goalkeeper. He's so comfortable on the ball, that young goalkeeper. He pressed me in the first game, man. And Fernandez impressed me. And Emeran, very good. Hugo got his goal as well, but I don't realistically see him getting a chance this season, to be quite honest with you. So there's Sancho. He's definitely playing through the middle. I mean, if you have to change, look, you know, Henry was originally a midfielder, wasn't he, before he became a striker and stuff. And wingers have been converted into strikers, right? And we all know that Sancho has pace. But I just don't think he has what it takes to be a number 9. Right. Lyon's on the attack right now. The ball's broken down. Oh, brilliant. Well taken out of defence. Right, here we go. Right, Hannibal. Throw into United. Right, we're... Slow it down, that's it. Right, they're going back to... I don't know if this is deliberate going back to the goalkeeper, but the last few minutes they went back to the goalkeeper. But to see a goalkeeper, right, and he's only a young lad, but to see this goalkeeper, how relaxed he is when he's put under pressure, when a striker's coming at him with the ball, and then he gives a simple ball out. I mean, the difference is startling. Look, I love David De Gea. He's a club legend. He's one of the greatest shot stoppers that I've ever seen. Here we go. It's Anthony, nearly. What about Sancho though? Sancho made that credit where credit is due there. Let's see. So it's a poor clearance by the keeper. Hannibal picks it up, gives it to Sancho. Sancho with the little ball in, and Anthony should have really scored that. But again, maybe Ten Hag is onto something here with Sancho, but we'll have to wait and see because Premier League is where you have to be doing that. Mason Mount with the corner. Oh, Varane header over. But a good start, yeah. A very good start. I mean, the corner was a bit too deep. But Varane got on, he was surrounded by 3 defenders. But again, United putting on the early pressure. Hannibal getting the tackle in. Sancho, go on! Oh! Oh, it wasn't Sancho, it was Ahmad. Let's see, was he onside? He was. Oh, what a poor ball that was. Oh, but you should have scored. That's what I mean. That's see, Ahmad is look, I'm not gonna say Ahmad is not going to be a great player, but there's a few things that he does. If he hadn't got his head up there, as we said, he'd be in. Mount, what a ball. Oh, Anthony tried. Did he keep it in? He's kept it in. Into the box. Oh, what a save! Ahmad again. Anthony taking it. Anthony, oh, unlucky. He did. He kept it in and all. Anthony did. Well done, man. Nice little square ball into the box, and Ahmad gets a save out of the goalkeeper. But Manchester United right now are dominating these first 6 minutes of this game. We're in their half. Martinez with the ball off to Fernandez. To Anthony, who gets fouled. Seriously, this is a great start. We got 6 people watching right now. Do me a favor, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. We will be covering the whole of pre-season and the season as well. Obviously, this is just pre-season, so we won't get too carried away. But I'm like, what? Look, last pre-season as well, we were great, right? And that, look what happened. So I won't get too carried away. But I am loving what I'm seeing here. Look at this, Hannibal. Into the box. Corner. But Sancho in the box though. Sancho was actually in the box. He's playing the number 9 role right now. And he was actually in the box. It was just a poor ball, but he got himself into the box. And into the 6-yard box as well. So it looks like Mason Mount is on corner duty. His first corner was a bit iffy, bit too deep. Let's see what he does. Short one here. Gives it back. Anthony gives it back to him. Oh, Mount tried to cross it in there, but it got cut out. I just love the pressure that we're putting on. Look, no matter what happens this season, we're going to see a different Manchester United, a different type of play and style, and I'm loving it. I mean, Sancho down little. Is that Sancho? Right, Lyon are on the attack though. Martinez with the tackle. Still with Lyon though. Oh, Lacazette tried to get the ball in, but it's gone out for a goal kick. So he's back in France, Lacazette. Jersey, I see a few United fans with the knockoff away jersey on them. It's funny because it hasn't even been released yet. Back to the goalkeeper again, who plays it out to Martinez like he's been in goal all this time. And he's getting, because of the goalkeeper, we're on the attack. Anthony. He cuts in. Give it. Oh! It was a good idea. Jesus Christ, the speed of our attack is completely different, man. It's completely different. The goalkeeper is put under pressure and he gives this ball to Martinez and it just opens up everything. As I said, I don't want to get too carried away, but it's been a long time since I've seen Manchester United play like this. Sancho, shoot! Oh! Anthony, go on, Anthony. What? Who's getting the free kick? That should be Anthony's free kick. Sancho again picks the ball up. He shoots. In fairness, he tried to actually sneak it in around the player. But again, Sancho was getting into that. He's true. He's true. They'll play the right ball. Give it to Mount. Oh, you what were you? I'm not putting the pressure on. Can we see that replay again? Here we go. Right, so Sancho's onside. He gets the ball, brings it down. Ah, you should have passed it about an hour ago. But Jesus Christ, the way we're zipping the ball around. Man, I haven't seen this since... Well, it's been a long while since we've seen us dominate the ball. See, just a few tweaks he's made, and those few tweaks have just completely transformed us. I mean, we're so comfortable on the ball. It's unbelievable. Mason Mount back to the goalkeeper, but the keeper then, he's not hoofing it up. He's playing the ball out. There, back to the goalkeeper again, but he's not going to panic. Out to Martinez. Anthony picks the ball up, but he's not fouled. Get up, Anthony. Good save, goalkeeper. Right, Kovar with the ball out. Wan-Bissaka. "26 days away, folks, and the season starts back." Right, so there's still 26 days for Manchester United to do a bit of business and get rid of some of this dead wood, and hopefully then with the money that we generate, we can buy some. We can buy a few more. Look, it's gonna be a process, right? But here we go again. Oh my God, Sancho, go on, go on! I don't know, man. I don't know, but maybe fucking Ten Hag is onto something here. This could be genius. He's got the pace. He's getting into the... I have to be honest, he's getting into the right position, Sancho, in the box. But again, we didn't buy him for that, And I know Ten Hag likes players to be able to adapt. But we bought Sancho because he was that classy winger that we thought we were buying. Like, I mean, it opens the door for the wingers that have been banging down the door. If Sancho, if that's his grand plan, keep Rashford out in the wing, but play Sancho through the middle. And then if we bring in the young kid Hoyland, then here we go. Anthony on the ball into the Martinez, who's in the fucking box of Lyon. Sancho doing his tricks. Gives it back to me. But all the way back to Varane. Ah, come on, lads. What was that? But we still have the ball. Nice enough. What a ball! Sancho again. Go on, Sancho. Just a moment. He's doing these little tricks, man. He looks sharp. He looks sharp. I just, you know what? I just want them to do well because, you know, I don't want us to have another dud on our hands like we do with Harry Maguire. I actually like Sancho. He's obviously been going through stuff, but he's got to step it up, man. He's got to step it up. He's had plenty of time. Like, I just want them to do well. I just want all the players to do well. Mount, look at this bit of interplay. They are trying to overcomplicate, I will say, you know, but they have control of the ball. I mean, the possession stats here have to be at least 80 something to us. I would say maybe 82% because all of the game is being played mostly in their half. Right, the ball's broken down. Oh, what a tackle. Oh, Martinez a bit rash there, but Lyon, Lacazette. Oh, across the... Ooh. Ball into the box. Martinez tried to get his head onto it. Being hurried by Fernandez. Not Bruno, the defender. Oh, bit of ping ball. Oh, side netting. Yeah, but that all came about because we were trying to be a little bit too elaborate. Once we got the ball out, it broke down. Again, it's only pre-season, so they'll sharpen up as the games go on. But Lyon, in reality, Lyon shouldn't be causing us any problems. Sancho! Oh, he's doing the running. He's doing the Sancho running. I can't believe this. What a ball to Anthony. Seriously, Sancho's... I would nearly say so far, Sancho probably... Him and Ahmad are really shining through in this half. I have me doubts about Ahmad, so it's great to actually see him prove me wrong so far this pre-season. But again, United just so relaxed on the ball. Right, out to Anthony. Anthony is taking them on. Go on, Anthony. What a ball to Hannibal. Oh, a bit too far. But Anthony is taking on players. Anthony gets too much stick, man. Gets weight. Look, he was never going to be Cristiano Ronaldo. He's not that type of winger. But I tell you what, he does give you. He gives you pace. Sorry, he gives you that energy. He's good at. Oh, one thing I will say, there's a couple of games during last season when we took Anthony off, and then shortly after we could see the goal because Anthony did that tracking back that most wingers don't like doing, but he does. But I want to see him get a little bit more forward this season. That was my criticism of him last season, and air wingers in general, except for Garnacho. He wanted to take on players, and I think Anthony needs to do that a little bit more this season. But early indications, by what I've seen so far, it looks like that's exactly what's going to be happening. I tell you, we're looking pretty good. Don't forget the game is available on the Manchester United app, and it's free, by the way, because people were saying, "I don't get the Manchester United." Apparently, it's free. Right, so Lyon now have the ball in our half. United shape looks good. Hannibal putting pressure. They're all pushing up. That's what I like. That's when you force the mistakes. See, Ireland and Jack Charlton used to do that. We had this whole thing with Jack Charlton, put them under pressure. And that's what you have to do. You got to put teams under pressure. That's how they make mistakes. Oh yeah, apparently Anthony Martial won't be leaving Manchester United, by the way. Yeah, it was reported yesterday. I don't know how true it is, but how he's still at this club is miracle. Oh, Varane made a mistake. Lyon are through. Oh, is that Van Bissaka with the life-saving tackle? But Manchester United are on the attack with Ahmad, and he loses the ball. But should Lyon have had a penalty? But Wan Bissaka there, Varane actually made the mistake there. Again, there are some occasions where our players are just slightly overplaying. Sancho with the pressure. It's getting a bit scrappy now. We need to... Oh. Let's see. So Varane, Martinez tries to get it. Goalkeeper. Did that hit his arm? Let's see. In fairness, you can't give that. I mean, you really can't give that, man. So, good decision by the ref. Sure, even the Lyon players didn't protest that much. But Lyon now, last few minutes, have gotten a bit of a foothold into the game. Sancho putting on the pressure, Mount now putting on the pressure. It's coordinated, rushing the goalkeeper. We win the ball back. See, if you do the basics right, which United haven't been doing for years, because for whatever reasons, but if you do the basics right, it completely changes the way you play and dictate the game. I mean, Ten Hag, people are calling him ruthless and all of this, and and he's done this and it's been unfair on this, that player and the other, and all of this other rubbish. Look at right. We want to get back to winning trophies, right? Ten Hag has to be ruthless, right? And the fact that we haven't had a manager as ruthless as him since Sir Alex Ferguson just goes to show you what we've missed. Some will say Jose Mourinho was kind of, but Jose Mourinho wasn't ruthless. Jose Mourinho was just a bully. Um, Ten Hag is an actual, you know, he is just ruthless, and you have to be. You have to be. But when the manager shows confidence, when the manager puts his foot down, the players realise, because even Bruno said it, that there wasn't many rules, and then the manager came in and he had his own rules, and he's not happy though. He's shaking his head on the bench there, even though we've probably dominated the game. We've had a couple of chances, not clear cut, but. So remember, we got other pre-season games coming up, and there's some juicy games coming up. We got Arsenal, Wrexham. I think we have Borussia Dortmund as well, and Anthony is just being pulled all over the place there. Actually, the pitch doesn't look bad when the camera is on it. It just looked awful there, but it looks like a good pitch. What was that? Wow. You still have the ball, but Ten Hag is not happy. And I said this the last time when we were playing against Leeds. He wasn't happy about something. Right, Martinez on the ball. Plays it to Anthony. Bit heavy. Back to the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper is out of his box. Now, let's see what kind of ball he plays here. Back to Martinez. Back to the goalkeeper. Out to Wan-Bissaka maybe. Let me see what he does here. This goalkeeper is comfortable on his feet. He's looking around. He sees. He tried to play it up towards Sancho, but I like that. Right, where Hannibal is it? Oh, Fernandez. Go on. It's a Man United corner, is it? Corner. No, are we not getting the corner? Is it a corner? Oh, I don't know. I think that was out for a corner. But he gave a throw. Oh, Fernandez again. Anthony. Yeah, it's got a bit scrappy as you do expect from pre-season. We're 27 minutes in, 0-0. Controlling the game, I would say. But as I said, Ten Hag is not happy because he wants perfection. Um, I don't know. Oh, what a ball! Wan-Bissaka just you let it bounce, mate. He was true, but what happened was he let the ball bounce. You should never let the ball bounce, right? When you get into the box like that and you're given the ball like this, just hit it first time. You never know. You never know. But again, Wan-Bissaka is getting into the box. This has been another criticism that we've had of Aaron, but he's busting a gut to do exactly that. That was weird. Thought we lost power or something. Anthony with the nutmeg. And then again, Sancho putting the pressure on, but Lyon get the ball out. Back to our goalkeeper though. Anthony. Oh, is he going to take around his player? He's passed the ball out to Mason Mount, who gives it to Ahmad with a little chip in. Back to Mount. Oh, what are you doing? Yeah, it's just the final ball right now. But I have to say, if you're there's Ten Hag now, he looks a bit calmer now. He wasn't happy. He wasn't happy a few minutes ago with something. Wan-Bissaka tries to play the ball forward. See, Sancho does this thing where he puts his head down, and this is how you know this lad is his confidence is shot for some weird reason. I don't know what's going on in his private life, but his confidence is shot. Right, free kick to United. 30 minutes in. Well, anyway, there's about 15 minutes for Martinez. I don't think he's coming out in the second half. I think Ten Hag is going to be very he's going to be very he won't play. I reckon we won't get to see the team that he's actually going to be starting with the season and the subs until we get near the end of the tour. I think he'll give as many players games, as much game time as possible to assess them, and then he'll make up his mind on, especially with the younger academy players, see which of those break through. But I've just realised we will be changing our starting 11, so I'd really like us to get a goal in this half. But there's a Lyon free kick just by the byline on the left hand side. It's being crossed in, defended well. Martinez stuck his head to it. But what was that? Sancho went to hit it back to Martinez, and it goes out for a corner because he hit it too hard. I mean, what was that? I mean, if you're going to be back there, you make sure you get rid of the ball. Wow, that's a rather. Do you leave it? I have to be honest, the corners in this match have been by both sides pretty poor. And it's still an issue that United have is set pieces, in my opinion. Martinez just given. I like our goalkeeper. Oh, Martinez with the nice shimmy takes two fucking players out of it. Go on. Mason Mount on the ball there, new number 7. Ahmad, we're in Lyon's half now. Back to the goalkeeper again. That was lovely. I like this goalkeeper. Even Martinez is giving him back the ball to see what he's capable of. And I think it's good to test your goalkeeper like that, especially in pre-season like this. Back to the goalkeeper again. We've done this quite a few times in this half, where we've just given him the ball back to our goalkeeper to see what he could do. Can he pick out a pass? And I was impressed with this goalkeeper against Leeds. I mean, we're rumoured to be going in for, as I said, Zion Suzuki. But I mean, if we got this lad, I mean, is Zion better than this fella? Because so far, I think this goalkeeper, and this is obviously Onana is a different animal altogether because, like, obviously he's been doing it for years with his feet. But this lad looks comfortable. Hannibal on the ball. Tries to play it out to Anthony. Anthony wins the ball. Back to Hannibal. Go on. Oh! Give it. It's a free kick. Mason Mount is being hacked outside the box, folks. Right, who's taking it? Sancho? Mason Mount? Who's going to take this? It's probably going to be Mason Mount. Yeah, Ten Hag is shaking his head quite a lot. Right, so the substitutes are coming out. There's Johnny Evans back in United Red again, along with some of the second half, the players that will be coming out in the second half. Remember, they didn't put, I did call out the substitutes a little bit earlier, but there will be practically a second team coming out. But Mason Mount has taken responsibility. If it's in a nice. Actually, I have to say this is in a nice position. Oh, I hope he doesn't. Um. Oh. Okay, Mason. I know you saw the clip of yourself where you did the Ronaldo free kick when you were a kid and it went in. Well, even the way he ran up to that ball, it's clear that he's trying to do a Ronaldo. The difference is the ball. You've got to stop the ball from hitting the wall, get it over the wall in the first place. We don't have a decent free kick taker. Think about it. We do not have a consistent free kick taker that actually scores goals. We get the odd one here and there, right? But we don't have a consistent free kick taker that scores. We haven't had one in years now. There's Johnny Evans getting a bit of a chair. Can't believe he's back, to be quite honest. But, if he comes on the second half and does the business, I don't give a crap. It's only temporary anyway. My goalkeeper has tricked everybody and played the ball out the other end. And Ahmad gets it. Well done. Give it. There's Mason Mount. Will you stop playing the ball backwards, lads? Come on. Oh, he's going back to the goal. Right. Well, the Sancho experiment, with him playing through number nine role, nah. Sancho needs to go. I think we should take cash for him if cash comes in. I'm being honest. I just don't see him as a playing through the middle either. And the fact that our manager has to do that to try get something out of him. I mean, he's all nah. It's gone all scrappy. There's no way Sancho starts ahead of Garnacho or even Pellistri. There's no way. There is absolutely no way. Like at the start of this half, he looked like he had something about him. Wan-Bissaka doing a few keep me uppies there. Again, though, what I feel with this squad is every time they have an opportunity to pass the ball or cross the ball into the box, they decide to play around with it, and then we lose it like now, and Lyon are on the attack. What a ball. It wasn't a penalty, he dived to get up. Keep going. Right, Mason Mount on the attack. Gives the ball to Ahmad. Gives it back. Is that a penalty? No, that looked like a hand across his chest. We got Scottish Diverse and Friends Wrestle with Pop Culture in the chat as well. 41 minutes in, Manchester United nil, Lyon nil. That actually looked a bit of a penalty, I've got to be honest there. I think Lyon should have had a penalty there, but he was dragged down, ref. Nah, man. It's like Sancho will give you something for a couple of minutes and then he completely disappears. It's like as if we're playing with a man down all the time. He's on the pitch. I'm not messing. Mount. I mean, it was the right shot. Just got a little bit too much on it. He tried to get it into the top corner. I wonder who's going to play. Do you know what, man? I can't believe I'm actually even saying this. I would have put Hugo on our striker. I would have actually put him on. Right, goalkeeper again. Ball's not sticking now. I don't know. It just seems to be when Sancho runs. Rashford does it sometimes as well. Martial is the same. It's like they're running, but they're not really running. If you know what I mean, they're not putting half of the effort in they should. Lyon's on the attack now. Hannibal with a free kick. That's a yellow. That's going to be a yellow, isn't it? He got a yellow card in the Leeds game as well. He needs to be. Lacazette trying to whisper something in his ear because a young player try to get a reaction out of him. I mean, did you seriously try an overhead kick? I mean, he tried it out. I mean, well, the ref has blown up because he's even had enough. So, yeah, half time, 0-0. Sancho looked good for a few minutes, has faded. Anthony has looked pretty decent. Ahmad, pretty decent. Our back four is comfortable. Our goalkeeper is comfortable. Our midfield, not really doing great. Mason Mount, I mean, look, maybe he will come good. I mean, I was kind of okay with what he gave us in the first half of the Leeds game. But again, I always think that there's better players out there, but I will back him. But in fairness, I'm judging him, and he's not even playing with the midfield that he will be playing with, so you can't really judge him. But you can certainly judge Sancho. I mean, I'm sorry, but we have to do something about that situation. Turn that down. I just don't think he's good enough. And I think if a club comes in for him, gives us a decent price, I think we should snatch their hands. Because look, it doesn't matter who he goes, he's not going to do any damage to us. He won't do any damage to he wouldn't do damage to us. In fairness, I think I said it at the time, Sancho leaving Germany was absolutely the wrong thing for him to do. He's not cut out for the Premier League. And he's playing against Lyon here, right? Which, as Daniel has said in the chat there, right? They're in turmoil, right? They finished 7th or 8th in the French league. The French league is a farmers' league, right? And Sancho should be making mincemeat in Lyon, in fairness. I just don't know. Look, I'll back him. If Ten Hag keeps him for another season, fine. But I already could see where this is going, and we're going to have another Harry Maguire situation. We should just sell while we have the bloody chance and stop. Right, well, as it is half time, I'm going to just switch off the camera and just have me half time. And it's the wrong avatar. So let's change that. It's supposed to be automatically on this, but there we go. So we've changed that avatar. But actually, I want to get me drink as well, so just hang on with me. So yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous, man. Where's my glass? There it is. So yeah, let's hope the young lads now can do what they did against Leeds. Because remember, it was 0-0 in the first half against Leeds, and then the young lads came on, they stepped up and they got their goals. Yeah, Hannibal does. I like him. I think he will be a player for us. Um, but the rumour is that the manager might send him back out on loan again. You know, which if he's not going to give him a chance, is probably the right thing to do. But I'd like to see some of our young lads now play for Premier League clubs instead of going down to the lower leagues now, because they need to prove their mettle. And you know, they're only going to gain Premier League experience if they're given that chance. And if Ten Hag believes that some of these players are not just quite ready to break through yet, well then he should try find Premier League clubs for them. Because I don't want any of me players going to the Championship, especially your young players, because they end up doing well. Then you bring them back. Then United fans expect them to tear it up for United. Whereas if they get that Premier League experience into them, get a season or two on loan in the Premier League, they'll toughen up a lot faster. But in saying that, there's a lot more positives than there are negatives. As I said, we've played the ball out from the back through the goalkeeper. And then sometimes Martinez might take the ball and hit it to the goalkeeper, and then the keeper would pick a pass out. We're good putting the pressure, forcing Lyon back. But as I said, if you've got one or two players in your squad that just aren't doing it right now, what's happened in this game is the ball breaks down in the final third. And we still have that issue, and we will still have that issue if we don't get a striker in. Because we had a couple of chances there where we probably should have scored. But if we had had a striker in that position, we could be looking at a 2-0 half-time lead. But as it stands, it's 0-0. Sancho is not the answer for number 9. He's not. He faded out very quickly. And I don't like to keep picking on him because, a lot of our United players do get a bit of unnecessary stick. But Sancho, he had a poor fourth season. The manager gave him 3 months off because there was something going on behind the scenes, whatever it was. And then he came back and he hasn't really offered us anything. I mean, I think United fans have been very patient with Jadon Sancho, to be quite honest. But Anthony probably should have scored there in the first couple of minutes. Sancho did put the pressure on the goalkeeper, forced to play the ball to Hannibal, and then Sancho laid it off to Anthony, who hit it straight at the goalkeeper. But that should have been 1-0 there. Then again, Ahmad, getting involved as well. But that's probably the only clear-cut chance that we've had in the whole game. So we'll see who he brings on in the second half. And we'll see what's going on because, I just don't know, lads. I just don't know. Anthony then squared the ball. Ahmad should have scored there. So we've had two clear-cut chances where the keepers had to make a save. But as I said, it's from a United point of view. Again, it's only pre-season. I shouldn't probably judge as harshly. But Lyon are a shambles. Anyway, Lyon haven't really put up much to argue whether that should have been a penalty. I don't think so. I think it was just a coming together, two clumsy players going for the ball, but I think he was kind of looking for that to Lyon. Sure, he didn't really make much of an issue of it. But anyway. Right, so we should be right. So there's a couple of players warming up there. That's not Dean Henderson, is it? Or is that McTominay? Who is it? There's Amaran. He's definitely coming on. He has to. Here's Hugo. So a couple of the lads are warming up, which makes me think that they're not actually coming on yet. So maybe Ten Hag is going to change it up a little bit. He may bring out the same team in the second half. Yeah, it's a shame about Sancho though. But I knew when we were in for him, we should never have bought him. I'm being honest. I said the same about Harry Maguire as well. We paid too much money for him as well. Look how that turned out. But we're not the managers. We don't run the club. I think fans have more sense than the bloody club half of the time. But we move on. See what happens. So we should be coming back now quite shortly for the second half. Yeah, as I said, for these games that we're playing right now, he will mix up the squad. Some of the international players like Bruno hasn't come onto the pitch or anything like that. I don't even think he's on the subs bench, if I'm correct in saying. So some players will be eased back into it a lot more faster than others, like Martinez, because he was injured. So we wanted to get him in as soon as he could. He played 45 minutes last week. Will he play the full 90? We'll see. I doubt it. I doubt it very much. I reckon he'll probably be off at the start of the second half because yes, his injury is bad. He's not an injury-prone player, but we don't want him to become an injury-prone player because Manchester United can't afford to be having injury-prone defenders. We've had enough of them over the years. We don't need any more. They're showing the Ryan Reynolds and Sir Alex Ferguson ad where they were announcing the Wrexham game. If you haven't seen the ad, it's one of the funniest ads you'll see on TV. So the Red Devils versus the Red Dragons. Basically, Ryan Reynolds and your man are talking, and Ferguson is looking at the computer screen, and it turns out that they're on mute and he couldn't fucking hear them. So he's just staring at them, and they're Ryan Reynolds talking about like mind games. Oh, he's the master of mind games because he's just staring at them. Rob McInerney, yeah. I keep forgetting his name. But what Wrexham have done is a fairy tale. You know, and I hope they do well. But we have to smash them. Now, seriously, Wrexham game comes along, I expect us to fucking smash Wrexham. Right? I mean, that should be a foregone conclusion. But just to let you know what is actually coming up on the channel. And as I said, you know, we do the Manchester United transfer news on YouTube Shorts because I don't like coming on doing speculating on who United are in for, you know, when it never turns out that we get those players. So I like to just, when the deal is actually done, I like to come out and give you the transfer news. Well, I try my best anyway. So the next match is on Saturday, and we play the mighty Arsenal. Yeah, the mighty Arsenal, me arse. Anyway, we play Arsenal on Saturday. That's the 22nd. But that's a late night kickoff. That's at 10 o'clock at night. So come and join me for that. And then on Wednesday, we have Manchester United versus Wrexham, and that's on at 3:30 in the morning. And then on Thursday, the 27th, the day after we play Wrexham, we have Real Madrid, and we play them at 1:30. And then on Monday, the 31st, so the games are coming quick and fast. There's Johnny Evans on the pitch there. So yes, he has changed the squad. Brandon Williams is on there, but I don't think Amaran is on. He looked a little bit disappointed there. Fred is on the pitch. Johnny Evans is on the pitch, so we got a bit of experience there. Good to see him back. Then we've got Rennes on the 5th of August. Then on the 6th of August, we have Athletic Club. And then on the 14th, then we kick off our Premier League season with Wolves at home. So we've got plenty of games pre-season. And we've got the as I said, the Premier League coming up, and I'll switch on the camera now in just a second. I'm just finishing my little break, if you know what I mean. You can't do it on screen because, you know, YouTube has a thing about that. So Fred's on the pitch. Obviously, the players will scroll up on the screen that I'm watching, and I'll be able to tell you who they are. We got Forson on the pitch as well. He actually had a decent half when he came on. But the crowd is definitely there for Manchester United. So here we go. Second half is kicked off. Our goalkeeper, we're playing the ball out. Again, young players on the pitch now. So to be very eager. So let me put back on the camera, just hold on. There we go. We should be safe. There we go. Yeah. Right, so Hugel's on the pitch as well. It actually hasn't scrolled on the screen who's on the pitch. So as I see the players, I will call them out. But it does. Here we go. So the Manchester United lineup is as follows. Kovar is in goal still. We've got Gerardo, Fish, Evans and Williams, Gore, Fred and Van der Beek, Forson, Hugel and Hansen on the pitch. So a brand new, 10 outfield players, and we got the same goalkeeper in goal. So again, I think Ten Hag should look at this goalkeeper. He's kept him on, obviously, for this second half. So he'll get a 90 minutes under his belt. Yeah, we're playing different types of teams for pre-season, Daniel. We want to be prepared because, especially against the teams that United were expected to beat, especially teams that play on the low block, we find it very hard to break them down. So I actually think I actually think our pre-season, the way it's being designed, the clubs that we're playing some high-profile clubs as well. Here we go, United on the attack. These young lads already, man. I said it last week as well when they come on. Fred, will it be the last time we see Fred in a Manchester United jersey, folks? Look, we have to be ruthless, and Fred isn't good enough. He's inconsistent. But I will say, as a Manchester United fan, I will be sad to see him go. He's rumoured to be going to Fulham or maybe Saudi Arabia. I hope he doesn't go to Saudi Arabia. But, I don't know why Celtic are not looking at some of these players. Or even Rangers, for that matter. I mean, the way we're selling players, you could get them on the bleeding cheap. So already United, like they did in the first half, putting on the pressure. Oh, it's in! Oh my God, Donny van der Beek with a volley! What a ball by Gerardo, I think. Was that Gerardo with that ball? Holy... Out of nowhere! Holy smokes! What a bloody goal! Let's see, who gave the ball? Is that Hugo with the ball? Hugo with the cross in. Donny van der Beek on the volley in the back of the net. Oh my God, bang! Again, the young lads in the second half, they did the same against Leeds. They came out and they banged in 2 goals. But Donny van der Beek there, it was Gore with the ball across. What a ball! Holy! Oh my God! Ten Hag has a wicked smile on his face. What a goal! Wow! Van der Beek. There you go. If there's any Saudi Arabia teams watching or any Premier League teams watching, Donny scored a screamer there if you want to buy him. I don't think Donny will get a chance with Ten Hag. I don't know, but wouldn't it be an amazing story if he did stay and he just produced what he produced at Ajax? Oh my God, that's some goal. That was a screamer. Screamer. Look at this. These young lads are not afraid to get... Oh, look at that. Van der Beek has a point to prove. See, this is what you want to see. Players that know they're on the fringes and know that there's a chance of being sold. Just like step it up. This could, this pre-season, if Donny gets a foot, I'm delighted for him, man. With injuries and all he's had, it's just, you know what? He's just one of those players that we never truly know what we get out of him because it was a strange decision that we bought him anyway, and he got injured and he just had a run of bad luck, man. That was nice. I'm delighted for him. But look at this. What a ball. Oh my God, is this 2-0? Oh! Hampton Turner up, doing all sorts of damage. Hugo with the ball across. Gerardo. United's still in their half. Ball into the box. Oh! I've noticed there's a lot more balls going into the box now, though. Some of these bench players want to look at how it's done. I've got to be honest. The difference in I mean, the first half was decent. I'm not saying that it wasn't. Look at that. Go on. Handsome. My God, this game has actually livened up big time. Referee. Will Fish. Kovar gives the ball out again here. Goalkeeper again. And because the goalkeeper were playing a higher line, Johnny Evans gets a few touches of the ball. Look, he's even directing the players and all, telling them where to go. You never lose that as an ex-United player. You never lose that because that's instilled into you. But it looks like Lyon are going to be making a shit ton of substitutions because they have about 11 players warming up right now. But Manchester United 1-0. Donny van der Beek with a volley. Gore with the cross in. It was beautiful. And we're on the attack again, but that's a free kick. Stop pulling players down, young lad. Come on. You're not going to win every single ball. This game has gotten really, really interesting. Celtic are linked to McTominay, though. I take him. Yeah, you know what, man? People are saying he should go to Newcastle and stuff like that. I got to be honest, though. Scott plays well for Scotland. I don't know. I just feel if he stayed in Scotland, his form for Scotland might actually dip. I think he needs to stay in the Premier League. I'm trying to be nice here, but I think Scott McTominay is too good for the Scottish League. It's a pity, though, because Scotland has the same problem as Ireland. There's just not enough money in the Scottish game, And then when you do have young Scottish talent, it either like with Irish talent, it goes to England. They go to England. We've got to make the League of Ireland and the Scottish League. They have to try and make their leagues more competitive and more attractive. But the problem is, if you're not getting the money that Premier League teams are getting, then you don't have a hope in hell. This is why I think they brought in the Conference League and stuff to have the 3-tier European competition, is so that smaller teams that would normally get into Europe now have an opportunity to actually make a few quid and maybe then improve the type of player that they bring in. But it'll be a slow process. Now, you are playing Scotland versus Italy, and then you are playing France. You have done very well. You are going to qualify and all for the European Championships. Fair play as well. He's have a good manager, man. He did well. he did well, man, in the Premier League. He gets an awful lot of stick. Your manager does, but you just couldn't have got a better manager. He has that team playing beautiful football. Keepers like to play out from the back these days, says Scottish Davros and friends wrestle with pop culture. They do. That's the new. That's the kind of the new breed of goalkeeper now, isn't it? It's goalkeepers now that can play out with their feet, and they're taught that now from an early age now. We're just the young players. They got themselves ahead. They've done well, but they're kind of rushing some of the passes now. God love them, but this is to be expected. I mean, it's a big game for these young lads. I mean, they're playing for the senior squad and they're trying their best. And you know what? In two halves of football, so some of these young players, I'm going to say, have not done their chances any harm getting into this squad in the future. I have to be honest. And I know it's only pre-season. I'm not getting carried away, but I liked what I've seen so far. But last year we did have a good pre-season as well, and then it turned to crap at the start of the season. Oh, what a tackle. Well, so United still controlling the ball in Lyon's half. Fred on the ball there. He got a free kick. He's after getting the. It was accidental, but you know the way you get one of those player tries to get the ball off and comes down the back of your leg. He got come down on his heel. Yeah, there. Look. Oh, that's horrible when that happens. I wouldn't even mind. It's only a little knock, but it bloody fucking hurts. So Fred is taking this free kick. He's outside the box there now, just near the corner flag. Boots the ball in. Great save by the goalkeeper. That was a nice free kick. I have to say, I like the way that. Oh, right. There's a Lyon player down. I mean, he went in for the ball. I mean, I know it's pre-season and yeah, he's holding his hip. So when he jumped up, let's see. Yeah, Gore, he just jumped up and won the ball. He actually won the ball. The ref didn't even blow for it. It's just one of those where two players jump up and they bang each other's sides. That's all it was. But Ten Hag has a smile on his face. And he should have a smile on his face because some of these young kids are cooking. I'd like to see Charlie Savage come on though. Um, Look at this. Again, Gore trying. Is that a corner? Right, we got a corner, lads. Right, Lyon are about to make their substitutions. Oh, they got a number 80 on their number 80. Jesus Christ, 32. Number 17. They're even laughing about it as well. 80. I mean, I've never seen a jersey number 80 before. Right, corner taken. Goalkeeper saves it again. Ball back out again. Saved by the keeper. I think Donny has gotten, since he's gotten his little volley goal, Donny thinks he can lob the goalkeeper at every opportunity now. Just play your game, Donny. You know, again, you're like these young lads. That's why you're in this squad in the second half. You've got something to prove as well, mate. I'd actually have Sancho in this squad because I think he needs something to prove. I don't think he should be in the starting 11. I've got these new AirPod things. They're great. Sure, I got them because got a new phone. Oh, here, look at me phone. Little animation on a look. Yeah, spaceman. Ah, here's some kid. He's taking his jersey off. He's trying to put it back on, and he's on camera. And now he's waving. Oh, I love to see it. That's what it's all about, man. It's all about. I don't know. Fred frustrates me, Daniel, because I really like him as a player, and I think when he's on it, he is really one of the best players out there. But he's so inconsistent; it's just unbelievable. But I think a team like Fulham, that he's been rumored to be, linked to, I like. I think he's better than Fulham, but I think he'll do well at Fulham. I think he'd be one of their top players. I don't know. A lot of the Brazilian players are a bit weird. They don't like going back to the Brazilian league until they're ready to retire. Same with the Portuguese players. Well, that used to be the case, but now Saudi Arabia is in the picture now. Um, and they affect up the transfer market for everybody now, because if Saudi Arabia now going to be buying mediocre players at 30, 40 million, it means then that good, average and very good players are going to go between 80 to 100 million. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, people gave out when Chelsea came in, they spent the way they spent under Abramovich because he changed the whole landscape of the transfer window. But I think Saudi Arabia is going to be worse because they're not only buying players now in their 30s, they're buying players that are still would be considered in their prime now, and they're going to that league. And you see, we all know it's definitely for the money because it's not for that league. But my theory is, and I said this on my Twitter account, my theory is there's going to be a flood more of these players going over there, and mark my words, in a couple of years' time, the Saudi league is going to be allowed to enter the Champions League, or they'll have to either go through the Conference League, right? Because remember, they want to expand that. They also want to expand the amount of international teams in competitions as well, right? So they want to expand the Champions League. They want to expand all of the years. So leagues like that, like Saudi Arabia, if they keep buying and other teams within that league start buying decent fucking players, like there may be a chance then that you see a Saudi team in the Europa League or the Conference League, or if they manage to even, I wouldn't say they give them an automatic spot to get into the Champions League, but probably a chance to get through the qualifiers. This, I don't like this whole situation with Saudi Arabia. I really don't. Um, I think it's bad for business. They've done it with golf. They're doing it with snooker. They've tried to do it with darts. I don't mind them, pumping money into it and stuff like that. But dodgy stuff, looks the same with this Qatari takeover. I want the Glazers out, I really do. But I don't like Sir Jim's bid, and I really don't like the Qatari bid either, because the morality of the Qatari bid, and fans just want to forget about that because they're so desperate to get rid of the Glazers. But yet they're the very same fans then that bang on about how Mason Greenwood should never put on a United jersey again. Well, you can't really say that, because if you're backing the Qatari bid, you just have to look at their their record when it comes to people working in the country and stuff. We've all seen it's being reported on, Right, it's all fact. United on the attack here. It's 2-0. Oh, nearly. Aaron, he tried to clip it around the goalkeeper there. He was onside. Cuts the ball in. Did the keeper save that? He did, because it was a corner, but they were showing the replay that we didn't get to see the corner. Stop doing that. That's what I mean, man. It's not good. It's not going to be good in the long run. And as I said, the fans giving out about Mason Greenwood coming back into our squad, but yes, back to the Qatar bid, I find hypocritical, to be quite honest with you. If you support the Qatari bid, then you have no leg to stand on when it comes to the Mason Greenwood situation. So basically what United fans are saying, well, human rights violations are okay. People dying building stadiums is okay. But we draw the line at Mason Greenwood, who hasn't been charged. Yes, we all saw the photos and the audio, but the fact of the matter is he hasn't been charged with anything, whether you think he's a scumbag or not. And I think he's a scumbag, but the bottom line is he hasn't been charged. So if you're in favour of a Qatari takeover and you're banging on about Mason Greenwood getting back into the squad, you're a hypocrite. Simple as that. Right? I want the Glazers out as much as anybody else, but are we really willing to sell the morality of our club because we want them out so bad? Yeah, United are founded on principles. And how can we say we have those principles if we're taken over by an individual who lives in a state that has a lot of human rights violations? And there's other stuff that goes on in the country which you can't talk about on YouTube. But Man United fans are willing to forget that. Anyway, back to the game. And in fairness, we've been doing well. Great tackle there. Johnny Evans gets a big cheer from the United fans. He's loved, man. He actually is loved. He still is. I mean, we love all of our ex-players. I can't believe he's actually back in United jersey, though. And I think it just goes to show what these Glazer guys are all about. They can't even make up their mind whether they're selling or not, right? And, fair enough, Johnny Evans came back to train with the squad because he wanted to get fit. But then, obviously, Ten Hag saw something in him because he said, look, we'll give you a short-term deal so you can at least be with us for pre-season. But if we were run properly, let's be honest, he wouldn't be coming back to United. Here we go. Go on. That's a referee. I don't think the ref will give penalty. You see a few being given during pre-season, but Johnny Evans again with the header, powerful header. Again, he is a calming influence though at the back, Johnny Evans. I don't agree with us re-signing him, but I could see why Ten Hag hasn't there. Harry Maguire is not getting back into the squad. And if Johnny Evans was to stay, right, Victor Lindelof and Johnny Evans are ahead of him. Apparently, Harry Maguire wants, now it's media, so, and it comes from, I think, the Sun newspaper, so pinch of salt. But apparently, the rumour is that he wants 20 million to basically end his contract. And what I would say is, and this is my response to that, is that I think you should be paying us 20 million, not the other way around. I think you should be paying us money because we paid all of that money for you and you haven't produced. So this idea that we should be paying him off is ridiculous. We shouldn't be paying him off. If there's a club out there, right, try to get close to the fee that we want, fair enough, but we're not going to get what they want, right? But we need to just get him out, right? A loan's not, I don't want the loan deal. He needs to be sold. But anyway, Lyon, I wouldn't say they're trolling the game. I mean, they're not. They're putting a few passes together now. They're up into the United half now. Here we go. Twist and turn. They did make, I think they made about 11 substitutes. I think they made at least 9 outfield changes. United now on the ball. Fred on the ball. Unlucky. It's not unheard of, though, Israeli clubs can compete in Europe. Exactly. So, I think this whole thing, listen, there's an end game. Listen, Saudi Arabia, right, and that league is not doing what they're doing for nothing. There's an end game, right? And the end game is, I believe, is they're going to try somehow with UEFA to get them into Europe. And remember, with Ronaldo there, now we don't know how long Ronaldo's going to stay in Saudi Arabia, but with Ronaldo there, I mean, secretly, he would love the chance to play in Europe again, even though he bangs on how he doesn't. He would. He'd love to play in Europe again. So if there was a chance of the Saudi Arabia League getting in to Europe, he'd want to be there for that. And I think that's what the end game of all of this. I mean, they're buying players still in their prime. Like, it's not like the MLS where they buy players that are coming to the end of their career. Saudi Arabia League is actually buying players that are still considered in their prime. United on the attack with Aaron. Tried to play the ball. He did too much there, though. That's a good crossfield ball. Will he keep it? He's offside. So Lyon not really doing that, man. Got to say, I think we're pretty comfortable there. Lyon have had a few passages of play where they've kept the ball, but overall we have dominated this game without a shadow of a doubt. I'm just glad we got a goal. I was expecting us to get a goal in the first half, but we got it in the second half with the kids on the pitch. Donny van der Beek with a screamer. And if you're not watching the match live, and they'll put it up on the channel, the Man United channel, later on, you want to check out Donny's goal and the cross in for it. Unbelievable. On the volley. Oh, it looks like Lyon might be making another substitution. Johnny Evans winning the header again. Yeah, if I'm correct in saying, Pats have a Conference League game tonight, the European game. They're losing 2-1 from the first leg, but they scored on the 90. something in it, Pats did, to get back into the game. So it's 2-1 from the first leg. So I don't know if they're playing it in Richmond Park because I don't see the UEFA flag up. I don't actually see the tricolour up at the moment. But there are people in there. So I'm wondering if the match is there. So I might get to see a European game tonight as well. Right, Johnny Evans taking the ball out from the back. I mean, Johnny Evans is better on the ball than Harry Maguire. And Johnny Evans is what, 33, 34 now? I mean, unbelievable. Fred on the ball. Fred's taking a couple of knocks in this game. I'd be worried about Fred taking a couple of knocks when there's clubs in looking for him. Remember, they're still in the UK. So they went to Oslo for their first game, but they're obviously in Scotland. No, we don't have long to go now. On the 78th minute there now. And it's still 1-0 Manchester United. Little bit scrappy in this second half, have to admit. I mean, they came out full of energy in the first half. In the second half, I should say, and got their goal. It's telling me I've only got 8 minutes on that computer, so just give us a second. I don't know why I didn't actually charge it. I'll put this in here. Yeah. Stick it in there. There we go. And we drop it. So yeah, it'll be interesting now to see what Ten Hag does for the next few games, what kind of squad he'll play. I reckon he'll play all the young players against Wrexham. I don't think there'll be any senior players playing against Wrexham, to be quite honest with you, because we got a game the next day then. So I'll say he'll play all the young lads. And then obviously then I think we got Real Madrid then. And we'll play the senior lads against Real Madrid because that's where we're going to measure ourselves this season. And even though it's pre-season, you know, Real Madrid will be a tough test, and we'll see how many of the new players we actually have in the squad, and we'll see if we can compete because we're in the Champions League. So that's why I reckon we're playing so many Spanish teams as well. Right, Johnny Evans on the ball. Oh, it's a nice idea. I think Johnny Evans is really trying to get a longer deal. He's taking control. Give it to him. Hugo. Oh, corner kick. He did try square it in, but Hugo showed Donny where he wanted the ball. Donny delivered. Hugo then. Oh, was Aaron says that they both got blonde bleeding hair. Yeah, I think Donny was frustrated because he was hoping for the ball to be crossed in. Donny really wants to get this second goal though. Ah, it'd be a fairy tale if Johnny Evans was to score. Well, not like that, he's not. I mean, what kind of I hate the way we take short corners, man. Like, I don't. If you've got someone like Johnny Evans in the box who's good in the air, right? Stop with these short corners, right? Don't. We've been doing this for the last few seasons. It just, I hate that. Short corners, short free kicks. Just get the ball into the bloody box. You can play a tippy tappy football when it's appropriate to play a tippy tappy football. When you got an opportunity to get the ball in the box, get the ball into the fucking box, especially if there's players in there. Now Lyon's on the attack. They're in the box, goalkeeper saves, easy catch, releases the ball. Donny van der Beek is on the attack, gives it to Hugo, who holds the ball up and wins a throw-in. Brandon Williams, he should be out the door as well. So smaller clubs in Europe have improved. No easy games in Europe anymore. I agree with you. But that's the way we want it. We want them more competitive. Because remember, we're supposed to be playing the elite, the best, you know? So the harder it is, the better, I think. You know, all teams will improve in the long run. Okay. That's a free ref. Hugo, that's a free ref. Oh, he didn't give it, you dirty, dirty ref. Go on. Hugo on the attack. Look at that pace he's got. He's won a corner. He's had to have won a corner after all of that. Oh, he's down. I mean, he won the. That was a free kick. We should have got that anyway. Johnny Evans having a go at the ref, and rightly so. And fair, they're doing this short corner nonsense again. And yes, will you just get the ball in the bloody box, man? That's it. Just get the ball in the box. There you go. See, nearly Johnny Evans. Just get the. That's what I want to see from now on, though. I hate this United. They just have this fascination. Even when Bruno takes a corner, it's like, I'll give it to Anthony or someone, whoever's out on the wing, instead of just like we got good headers of the ball. Just get the ball into the bloody box. Anyway, we've only got a few more minutes to go, but it's still 1-0. And we haven't been troubled by Lyon, if truth be told. It's what you'd expect from pre-season game. But if the score stays as it is, or we manage to get a second, that'll be 2 wins out of 2. Leeds and Lyon, it's it's not an easy start. You know, Leeds, I know they got relegated and stuff, but that was always going to be a tough match. Yes, Lyon are a bit ropey, but remember, a lot of their first team players are still not back yet. And it's been the team in the second half in both matches that have scored the goals. Fred on the ball. He's going to square it. Gerardo with the ball in. Absolutely brutal. Will Fish. Get your hands off him, Will. I tell you, some of these young lads have a bit of bite. They're not afraid to get stuck in, and I like that. That's what we need. We need these young lads to really get stuck in and you know, not to shy away from a tackle. And I've seen that today. They've really put in a shift. I mean, our midfield has been comfortable. I mean, Lyon are just offering nothing. Got to be honest. James, I remember a time when Lyon were actually a decent fucking team. You know, PSG around that league. With all their money. Look at that. More tackles. Go on! Referee. Right, so Gore's being tackled and fouled outside the box. Now, it's at a bit of an awkward angle, though, so I don't know if this will be, if someone will step up to actually shoot this, but yeah, that's a free kick. So it's on the edge of the box, but at the far end of the box, if you know what I mean, at the edge of the box on the far side. So this would be good for a left footer. But Fred apparently is stepping up. This is ballooning over. Is he going to cross it in? There's no way you're going to shoot from here. I mean, if he scores this would be a great goal. Of course, he ballooned it over. I mean, I've watched them so many times, man. Someone should have stepped in there and said, Fred, you're not taking the free kick. I think Johnny Evans tried to do that. Man, give it to one of the young kids. You know? At least give one of them a go. Let's see what they're like at taking a free kick. I hate that the way when some senior players on. Let one of the young kids take it, will you? It's their moment to shine. Or at least let Donny have a smack at it. That's it. It's over. Ref has called it. Some players are actually down in a heap because it's a lovely day in Scotland. So it's ended. Manchester United 1, Lyon 0. Johnny Evans got to make his debut, a second spell, short spell apparently, of his United career. Laurent Blanc, the Lyon manager, having a bit of a laugh there. Donny van der Beek, great goal by Donny. Have to be honest, cracking goal. Deserved to win any game, but Gore with that cross in, what a cross in by Gore, but that volley by Donny van der Beek is what separates the team. So yeah, again, quite a good start to pre-season. I still have me reservations about Sancho. He tried to play him in the number 9 position for a few minutes. He looked like he had something about him, but again, he faded out of the game so fast. It's just unbelievable. I don't think any of the younger players have done themselves any damage at all. I think they have enhanced their position. Will give Ten Hag a lot of thinking to do because, how many of these players can we realistically see get into the teams, the squad, the Premier League, the 23-man, wherever how many man squad that they have throughout the season. But you know, as I said, it's 2 games into the preseason. There's a lot of positives, and I think the positives have been the goalkeeper, especially Kovar, this young goalkeeper, and apparently we're in for another young goalkeeper as well. Maybe Ten Hag wants 3 goalkeepers, but I think you already have a suitable second number 2 that will play in some cup games and stuff in Kovar. I think he's that comfortable on the ball. Ahmad, there goes me ear. See these earbud things. Ahmad did well. Again, he was quite lively. Probably should have had a goal. Anthony should have had a goal as well. So, we did okay. We did okay. This, as I said, it's only the second game of the preseason. Nothing to be getting too excited about. But I am seriously worried about Jadon Sancho. I'm not going to lie. And I don't want to keep bringing them up because it feels like I am keep bringing them up, but we have to talk about it. Jadon Sancho is just, it's just startling how he fades out a game so fast. And I don't know what's happened to him. I don't know if it's just playing for Manchester United, whether it's something else. But remember, this has happened players before. They play well for their club. They come to Manchester United and they fold. And I fear that's what we have on our hands with Jadon Sancho. As I said, he showed a couple of minutes in patches. His little tricks and stuff like that, trying to get out of tight situations. That was good, but we need more than patches from Jadon Sancho now. We need Jadon Sancho to be stepping up. I mean, Donny is being given 45 minutes, comes on, and he scores a screamer. And he didn't do too bad. He was always wanting the ball. He was shown for the ball. He was calming the players down when they needed to be calmed down. I'm not saying Donny should be given a chance, but what I'm saying is Donny showed me something. Whereas Jadon Sancho, I would argue, had a couple of tricks, laid off a ball where Anthony should have scored. And I think he was involved in the Ahmad chance as well. But this is a guy that we paid how much for? 80 million or whatever it was for Jadon Sancho. I have to be expecting more than that. But I'm seriously worried about Jadon Sancho. I think if an offer comes in, I think the club would be absolutely foolish not to take it. We need cash. We need to bring in players that are going to improve the squad and make us compete. And I know it's only 2 games into preseason. Maybe I am jumping the gun here, but I'm seeing the same pattern that I've seen during these first 2 seasons with us. He just fades so fast. It's unbelievable. I'm actually startled about how quick he actually fades in games. And I think Ten Hag tried something new with him. I think he did put him up front to see if he could get something out of him. But, you know, at the start of the game, it looked like Ten Hag might have been onto something because of positions and stuff like that. And he had a bit of pace about him. But as I said, he faded so fast that he disappeared. You didn't hear Sancho's name then being mentioned for quite a while in that first half. I think that lad is in serious trouble at United. I've got to be honest. I hate to say it, but because a lot of our players do get unnecessary stick. A lot of it is justified, but don't want to be a channel that constantly bashes players because I don't want to be that. But I just feel Jadon Sancho isn't it, and I think we should sell him. I think with the fee that we get, we could probably bring in. I don't know. We could use the money to bring in another midfielder. I mean, I know we're looking at Amrabat, but we get him and we bring in another midfielder on top of that, or bring in another striker on top of the Holland fella Ramos. Bring in someone else with him, but I think we need to cash in while we have a chance. Because if we keep him for another season and he fades even more, nobody's going to pay. Look, if we keep for another season and his form continues to go the way he goes, we will be lucky, and I'm not messing, we'll be lucky if we get 25 million for him next year if he has another bad season. Right now, we probably get, if we're lucky, between 45, I'm dreaming here, but between 45 to 60 million if we're lucky. If we're very lucky, we'll get to 60. But I reckon he could even go under 40, 45. It could be about 40 million, but I'll take the 40 million. It's 40 million more than what we have in our kitty, 40 million more that the manager can spend on a player that's actually going to make a difference and make us harder to beat. And that's what we've got to think about as Manchester United fans. A lot of fans get too attached to these players and, they have their own little fan clubs and all of this other rubbish, right? We've got to be ruthless here, right? Jadon Sancho doesn't cut it. Van der Beek doesn't cut it. Well, he hasn't cut it. Can he change the manager's mind? I don't think so. Harry Maguire doesn't cut it. Brandon Williams doesn't cut it. Scott McTominay just can't get into this squad. I'm not saying he can't cut it because I've said, I think if he plays more box to box, that's where you get the best out of McTominay. But unfortunately, we've got players there at abundant. We've got players there, so he's kind of out of that situation. So he has to go for his own career. Fred is not good enough. Martial is not good enough. We've got a lot of players in that team still that need to be gone and to make room. And if we can now, it looks like we are going to be finally pushing the envelope now and selling players. Alex Telles is gone. Henderson is rumoured to be going to Nottingham Forest. Fred is wanted by Fulham. And there is some interest in Harry Maguire. So if we can get rid of those players, that's what, 5, 6 players gone. We're not going to get rid of all the dead wood, but if we can get rid of as much as we can and build that kitty up for the manager, that'd be great. But if you throw a Jadon Sancho in there as well, right, with the price tag that he has, that pumps up that budget for the manager. And that's all we need to be worrying about right now. We can't be sentimental about players anymore, right? If we want to win titles and we want to compete with Manchester City, we need to be stopped being sentimental with these players, right? The bottom line is they're just not Manchester United quality and they need to be moved on. If this was the Sir Alex Ferguson era, right, trust me, those players would already be out the door. There'd be no question. It didn't work out. They're gone, right? but we're not under the Sir Alex Ferguson era, right? Um, and since he's gone, the Glazers have just, while Ferguson was there, yeah, the Glazers weren't spending money, but Ferguson was smart enough to bring, and that's what Ten Hag needs to be doing, and that's what Ten Hag is doing by bringing in the players that he's brought in. He's trying to be as smart as possible because he knows these owners are absolute assholes, right? But that has to stop. We need to get rid of these players, and that's the end of it. That's the bottom line. So, I'll give an overall rating. I'm not going to give individual player ratings. As I said, I'll rate the team performance as a whole, and I would have to say for this game, the first half we were pretty solid. We had control of the game. Probably should have scored 2 goals. In the second half, we came out with a lot of energy. We got the goal, but the second half was slightly more scrappier because obviously we had a lot more of the younger players on. So I'm going to give this performance a 7 out of 10. Again, it's only pre-season, but I saw enough from some of the academy players there to be actually excited about the future. Some of these lads will make it, and will eventually put that United jersey on for the senior team. I truly do believe that after watching some of these players. So yeah, for that reason, I'm going to give the performance a 7 out of 10. I mean, Donny van der Beek's goal is a peach. And I urge you, if you haven't watched the game, to go and watch the highlights. There was some interesting bits of play there as well that you will be interested in. But Donny van der Beek's goal, Gore's crossing in the first place, and then that volley. You're not going to score a better goal for Manchester United. If he'd done that in the league, we'd be all over the place with that goal. Absolutely fantastic. We'll see now if we get Ten Hag out to say a few words. Apparently, I think he's on his way out. So we'll see what the manager has had to say about this performance. Anyway, the kid's done well, man. So 2 wins out of 2, though, It was a great goal. I mean, the goal itself is a 10 out of 10. Oh, what a cracking goal. I have got so much I could say about PSG as club, but I'm not sure YouTube is the place for that video. Maybe Rumble for that one. Yeah, it's interesting. Interesting. Yeah, but there's a lot. Look at Manchester City as well. Have the 115 charges. There's Donny. Right, so let's see what Donny has to say. So it was his first game after 6 months, lads, and he scored that cracker of a goal. Oh, by the way, yeah, I just want to bring something up, actually. We've got Donny, well done. But to all the Manchester United fans, that are wetting themselves after Sabitzer scored, like, what was it, 5 goals or something for Bayern Munich. Um, did you see who they were playing? No wonder Bayern Munich won 27-0. I probably would have scored a few goals in that game playing up front, even though I have a bit of a belly on me. I would have scored a few goals in that game, right? Don't be getting overexcited over Sabitzer scoring 5 goals. We seen him play for Manchester United, and he just didn't cut it. So I don't know why you think after scoring 5 goals against a club team like an international team like San Marino, right? That's the level you put them at. They're probably worse than San Marino to be beaten 27-0, right? And yous are all like going crazy. Oh, we let this player go. He didn't do it at United. He scores 5 goals against a Mickey Mouse team, right? And yous are all going absolutely crazy for it. No wonder our fans are just seriously leave it out. 5 goals, man, against a bleeding Mickey Mouse team. Yous all lose. Yous are bleeding. Yous are cop on. Bottom line is, he's not good enough for United. Sabitzer's not going to win us the Premier League. You need to stop thinking small. Right? A team full of joiners. There you go. Right? Bottom line is this. Yeah, anybody would score 5 goals playing against a team like that. Unbelievable. Our fan base are stupid. Oh, Sabitzer scored 5, but we let him go. Why didn't we resign him? He didn't even do it in a United shirt. He scores a goal for us and everybody loses their absolute crap. Oh, bring him to the club. We love him. Ridiculous. Right, Sabitzer's not going to win you the Premier League with Mason Mount, right, with the midfield that we have there. No way. Get away, right? Sabitzer. Get that bleeding Paul Williams, man. Unbelievable. Jesus, if Weghorst was, I know he's Dutch, but if Weghorst was in that bleeding team, that Bayern Munich team, he would have bleeding scored probably 6-7 bleeding goals. So don't be getting ahead of yourselves. But it's just some of these big United fan channels out there, he's not who I'm talking about, that they push this narrative and this shit, right? He's not good enough. He never was good enough. We brought him in because we needed numbers in our squad. Same with Weghorst. We only brought him in because we needed numbers in our squad. He was never Manchester United quality. I was never going to do that in the United shirt. Bottom line, right? You United fans out there need to cop on to yourselves, right? We're Manchester United. You've forgotten that, right? Manchester United is supposed to buy the best in class, okay? They're not supposed to be buying has-beens off other bloody teams, right? And then their fans then, because the Glazers have lowered the standards. Oh, we'll take Sabitzer. We'll take Mason Mount. We'll take Amrabat, right? Yes, not bad players, decent players. But are they players that are going to win us the Premier League? No. We should have been going in for the players like Bellingham, De Jong, Casado, players like that, players of quality, strikers like Mbappe, Osimhen, right? Gonzalo Ramos. These are the players that United should be going for, right? Vinicius Jr., instead of going for Jadon Sancho, we should have put all our bets on Vinicius Jr. We should have been, but we don't, of course, we got owners that won't pay that money. But if we actually had owners that had actually money, we could go out and buy a Vinicius Jr. We could go out and buy an Mbappe. We could go out and buy some of the best centre-backs in the world, which is of all lords our standards. Oh, Johnny Evans, yay! And don't get me wrong, it's nice to see Johnny in a red, but let's be honest about it, he shouldn't be back in the red jersey, right? If our owners had ambition, right, we wouldn't be going and giving Johnny Evans, a 6-month contract. Now, he did well. I'm not going to lie. He did well. He looked comfortable on the ball. He won his headers. He did what his job is, right? But we shouldn't be going after players, ex-players like Johnny Evans. Absolutely disgraceful. But you have no ambition. None. And our fans laughing, oh, yeah, let's get Amber back. Yeah, he's great. He can run. Great. It's not going to win us the Premier League. Mason Mount's not going to win us the Premier League. Right? Holland is not going to win us the Premier League. Right? These players are not going to win us the Premier League. Right? So you just want to get that before you all start, creaming these our pants. Some of you like thinking that United are going to put up a title challenge. We're not putting up no title challenge. Right? You want to cop onto yourselves. We ain't putting the title challenge up. We will definitely comfortably be in the top 4, but we're not putting up. We're not challenging for no title with those players. Right? Simple as that. Make us better. We'll probably win something again. We'll probably do better. We'll probably win a cup again. Right? A domestic cup if we're lucky. We're not winning the Champions League, not with that squad. We're not winning the Premier League with that squad, but we might have a chance in the FA Cup and the League Cup. It's going to be baby steps with Ten Hag, especially with these owners. Look, the sooner these owners are gone and we have new owners, and then we have a bit of cash to actually spend, then we could start seriously considering winning the title. But remember, the financial fair play rules have already hit us because we've been fined. And it got to do with the whole COVID situation. So it's not even technically United's fault. But they'll pay it, even though Manchester City still have 115 charges, but nothing's been done about them yet. It's very funny when it's us or any other team in the Premier League that punish straight away. But it's Manchester City, and it always takes ages. Nothing's ever done, or they have their lawyers around it, that it takes years for it to be sorted out. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But again, even though I've said all of that, I'm still looking forward to the season because I think there'll be a lot. I think it's going to be a very unpredictable Premier League this year, and I can't wait to see it. And we will have some highs, and we're going to have some lows again. But, I know a lot of fans, they're making you believe that if we sign Amrabat, Onana, Mason Mount, we bring in that other goalkeeper, we bring in Hoyland, that's a good transfer window, right? It's not a good transfer window. And it's not, right? It's adequate, but it's not a good transfer window. A good transfer window is Frankie de Jong, right? Or, as I said, an Mbappe, or Casado, or Osimhen, or Ramos, Bellingham, but he went to Madrid, right? Lavia is another player that we've been into. All of these players that I've mentioned would be a better transfer window. So, for the fan channels out there trying to convince you that this is a great transfer window, it ain't a great transfer window. It's not. And even if we were to bring in Harry Kane, it's still not a great transfer window, right? Because our midfield is still, in my opinion, still an issue. Casemiro is coming to the end of his career, right? Yes, he had a great season, but he will start to wane, right? Then you've got Eriksen, who's not going to be able to play every game, right? So you've got Mason Mount and Bruno, who, in my opinion, will play a lot of games for Man United. But again, where's the depth in that midfield? Where's the star player in that midfield? Yes, Bruno is the star player in that midfield. Some will argue that Casemiro is as well. But we need more than Eriksen and Mason Mount in that midfield. That midfield is not good enough. And this is why, that's where we're going to falter. I think our back four is solid. Um, we could do bringing in a new defender, but maybe that's why Johnny Evans was given a short term, because we just don't have the budget this season. But we need a decent striker, and bringing this young fella in from Atalanta, who's had one good season, is a risk and could backfire, and we could end up with another dud. But again, is he going to win you the Premier League? He's not going to win you the Premier League. So that's where I stand on it. United, Onana will transform play. We've already seen what a goalkeeper's like when they play the ball out with their feet. It does transform the team, and we will score goals. But that midfield against the top teams, considered top teams in the Premier League, is going to be dominated. And that's where the battle is going to be won. Now, Ten Hag has to go through another season where he has to kind of try and bypass the midfield. Then that's not always going to work out. And this is why we need quality in that midfield. And this is why I think these owners, midfield and striker, should have been the positions that they should have been looking at first. So we'll see what happens, though. It's still early days. But that is it. That is it for this one. We will be back, as I said, on, what did I say, is it Saturday? Let's see, I just want to make sure. Now, obviously, if Arton comes about with the transfer, not the transfer, with the takeover, I'll let you know. If there is any transfer business, look out for the YouTube shorts, as I said. We put them up there. There's no point in doing full videos talking about the same player who we're connected to for the next tour, the whole of the transfer window. So I like to just talk about when we know a deal is nearly done or it's progressing, or Fabrizio Romano or David Ornstein, because they're the two top tier journalists out there when it comes to transfers. So yeah, we're back on Saturday, 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. I'll put that stream up in a few minutes. 10 p.m. Arsenal versus Manchester United. So the first two games had us playing essentially at home, but this is considered an away game because Arsenal's name is first. So it's Arsenal versus United, 10 o'clock Saturday. And then, as I said, then Wednesday and this is where it gets real busy. So then Wednesday we have Wrexham. On the Thursday we have Real Madrid. And remember, as I said, with Wrexham we'll probably play all the kids. And then Real Madrid will see your senior lads and the players that have been on international duty come back. And then we got on the 31st, then we've got Borussia Dortmund. On the 5th of August, then we have Lens. And then on the 6th, the day later, we have Athletic Club. And that will be the last game of pre-season. And then we start off the regular season with our first game at home to Wolves, which will not be an easy one. And then we travel to Tottenham, and then we've got Nottingham Forest at home, and then we've got that big game against Arsenal. So we got some cracking games coming up at the start of the season as well. So yeah, if you're around on Saturday, I know it's a bit of a late one. Obviously for the Americans, it won't be. So if you're American and you're a Manchester United fan, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and come back and join us here. We will be covering all of the pre-season games before we get into the regular season. And as I said, even though I've said all the things that I've said, I'm still looking forward to the season. My expectations are not too high because, I'm old and bold enough to know how it goes with Manchester United. And we'll just have to wait and see what other business we do. But right now, as I said, I am happy with the way we're playing. You can clearly see that Ten Hag now is trying to implement what he wanted to implement, because he's slowly but surely getting the players in. Maybe not the number one players that he wants, I would argue, but he's certainly getting players in that suit his style a lot more, and that's what we need right now. But as I said, if any news comes in about this takeover, we'll be back live. For everybody else that follows me on the other channel, which is the Tarda Zone, which will be obviously be rebranded soon, but the Tarda Zone, we're going to be live there later on. And of course, if you're into gaming, we are on the other channel, the Irish Geek on YouTube, where we have hit 400 subscribers, and we've been playing eFootball there and Ghostbusters and other games over the last few years on that channel, including Red Dead Redemption 2 and stuff like that. So yeah, if you want to check it out, please do. And that is it for me for this stream. I want to thank everybody that did pop in, because I seen that a lot of you were coming in and out, as you always do for these type of streams. But I want to thank everybody that popped in and out and supported the stream. We will see you for the next one. So have a good one. Manchester United won, Lyon 0, Donny van der Beek with a screamer. Go and check it out if you haven't. It is worth watching. And some of the young lads really did step it up. So we'll see you again. Have a good one. Talk to you soon.